and welcome to Around the Console, a Doctor Who review podcast. I'm your host, Bob, and joining me around the console are Cliff, John, Craig, and Suki. And it's new Doctor Who series-y, timey-wimey. There's been a new episode of Doctor Who drop, so we better do some new and relevant stuff. So we're going to be reviewing the 2008, the most recent Doctor Who, brand new Doctor Who episode that's not based on an awesome novel from the 1970s. The Star-based. So I'll go around the console and get everyone's first thoughts. I'm probably going to come to you first, Craig, because you'll probably be enthusiastic about it.
Whatever gives you that impression, Bob? Am I usually enthusiastic? Because I ain't going to disappoint. It was
Good.
It was just bring it on, baby. It was. I really loved it. I'm not going to say it was the best episode of Doctor Who ever. It did exactly what this episode needed to do, in my opinion. It was fun. It was fast. It was thrilling. It was understandable. Yes, I get where you're coming from. It felt 2008 with a touch of 2023 added in for spice. So yes, it was good from me.
Oh, wonderful. Positive, Craig. John?
Yeah, I'm likewise positive but in less enthusiastic terms. I think there were problems, and I think I was not the core demographic of this audience, clearly. And I think, although to be fair, story-wise, it was fun, but it was good. Don't make me say any more than that, because Bob, I'm struggling to find proper positives.
Yep. Suki, let's see how positive you are.
I'm very positive. I really enjoyed this. It was a good, fun return for Catherine Tate and David Tennant, and I've watched it 3 times already, and I just loved it. I really did love it.
Positive, good. Cliff?
Loved it. Camp, fun, good opening. The story's not fantastic, but it was perfect for an opening. Loved it.
Wow, so I'm fairly positive. New TARDIS is good, isn't it?
New TARDIS is good.
New TARDIS looks brilliant, and it looked nice. Yeah,
it's built for wheelchairs.
Wow. The graphic novel of the Star-based is very good, by the way. I'm glad I didn't read it until after I watched it, because it was a nice little surprise, the Meep being a baddie. Didn't see that coming, and the Meep looked very good. And Dave Gibbons drew it. I didn't, and so that's like top draw comic team working on this graphic novel back in the 70s.
This is just Bob deflecting because he can't put anything.
I know he's not said anything about the TV show.
Yeah. So yeah.
What didn't you like about it, Bob?
Yes.
It's exactly what I expected. So
make a list.
Disappointed. That beginning bit was cringy, jarring. You needed to do obviously something to make the idiots know that who've never seen Doctor Who before what was going on.
I think they could have done that in an entirely different way.
It was awful.
They should have
just horrible. And
that
then
could have been a trailer.
Something like that. Just something better. It was just not. I think it was one of the cringy moments. It looked good. Catherine Tate was brilliant. She was awesome. There's
Bob,
positives.
You're going back to your positive. What's your negatives really? I'd like to know what your negatives really are.
Well, no, because you got to be a bit. It was fine. It was exactly what I expected it to be. I think because I never go back and watch the sort of this era. It's not one I would pick up and go. Oh,
I would say on that point though, Bob, this is very much a love letter to that era. It's not if your nostalgia base is the classic Who, this isn't going to ring the same bell as there's an entire generation of people that it's for.
New Who is definitely up there. With RTD, I've always said it, that the other writers were brilliant in his tenure, but his scripts never did it for me. They were fine, as this is. As an adaptation as well, it was very good. David Tennant was very good. It's just exactly what I expected. Catherine Tate was. I always really liked Donna. It's not that I dislike the character, and I thought she was brilliant in this. I think he covered some very awesome, topics very well. But this is the only time, I'll be honest, I've ever actually rolled my eyes and gone, "Oh, fuck off" to the telly when Doctor Who's been on.
Which particular point?
Well, I need to sort of put some context behind it because I don't want to, So I think the way they dealt with Rose's character was amazing. I think it was brilliantly done in the first half. I thought it was fantastic. I thought showing the love of a family, the acceptance of trans person.
Yeah. I thought they did that question where everybody has the question of, and I thought that was really well done between Catherine and her mum, and she's saying, "I don't understand what to say." I thought instantly that was enough.
Really clever, really well done. The bit with the bullying as well, thought that was really subtly done and great and good for awareness. I think the resolution. Now you have to do something with resolution in the meta crisis or whatever it was. But when it went non-binary, whatever, I'm like, oh my God.
I loved that bit. I thought that was an absolute... No, I don't agree.
Writing. Terrible.
Bob.
I would disagree
I'm bored
with
of
you.
negative already.
I'm being positive. I've said many positive things.
I would to give Bob back up here. I agree to a great extent because it's the way. Just like the breaking of the fourth wall at the start, it jarred and it felt like it had been pronged in there, and it didn't feel like it was a natural conversation piece. It just felt like it was like having an advert. It was like having a name drop of an advert or something in there. Just all of a sudden you realise that this is a TV show and they're trying to. It felt shoehorned in.
It took me out of it. It definitely took me out of it.
That's why.
That first scene, it might have only been the only way to actually explain what had happened many years ago.
It wasn't the only way. There are better ways.
You've got a fast-paced, hour-long story that's going zipping along at quite a pace. How are you going to shoe in all this backstory?
They could have done flashbacks.
Just previously.
Yeah, flashbacks.
One of them.
Do flashbacks.
Just previously on Doctor Who.
Previously, but this show was filmed as SD. Back, not from the proper idea.
Don't give me that shit. They could have done something.
God, they could call it. They could have the 90s.
I really didn't mind that first scene.
Well, I didn't mind it, but it was odd. It felt like a trailer that had been tacked onto the front of the show.
Yeah, it should have been a social media outlet and blasted that out about 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, but the problem with that is not everyone looks at that, is it? I mean, the whole point.
Well, that's why you should have been a previously, because
I know. Then that would make feel like something like they're joining in midway through.
They are.
To be something. They are, and they're
exactly
not.
What they are doing.
It could stand alone. It doesn't. It's better as almost like the next episode along from when he regenerates into Matt Smith. But it's meant to be a standalone episode, so it's that kind of quick start. Yeah, I agree. I was a bit surprised by the start of it, but it is only a matter of minutes. And then you're in.
You're right.
So it didn't bother me. And I agree with what Suki said. It was a fast-acting show. Obviously, they're thinking about this is going on Disney. They're thinking about appealing to a whole broad new audience, as well as all those that have, for us, we talk about this all the time. For someone like my mother, who loved it, and she's not like Doctor Who for a while now, because it reminded her of what happened 15 years ago. Now, most people aren't going to remember exactly what happened 15 years ago. They remember something going on, but they're not going to remember the details. We do, because we love the show. But I thought it was a quick recap that wasn't insulting. It was fresh. It was quick. It was done with. And I liked it for that. Yeah, it wasn't necessarily what I expected, but I wouldn't slag it off for it.
I don't think we're slagging it off. But the thing as well with the Disney Plus, it's worldwide audience.
Yes,
that's going out to, as you says. But remember, this worldwide audience hasn't got the back catalogue on the Disney Plus.
Yes.
But Suki, the point we're making is not that it's a bad idea to put a recap in or some description.
Yeah.
I just think that the manner of which they did it with the face-to-face people talking in that manner wasn't working for me.
Breaking the fourth wall.
That's all. I mean, we can disagree a bit about it because, it's just about a taste in the end, but...
Something like this should have been out separately as a separate piece.
Anyway, let's skip this.
But let's go on to the thing.
Let's come back to binary, non-binary.
Yeah, please do. Yeah.
Because I actually thought that was really clever. I mean, I'm surprised. Well, I did because I liked the fact that for me it was a real continuity or kind of cross-reference back to the meta crisis, because obviously back then Russell T Davies wasn't thinking about binary, non-binary. She just kept saying binary, binary as part of what she did. And I just thought it was a really nice segue into what happened back during the meta crisis the first time round, and a quick flip as to why, an explanation as to why Rose identified as non-binary. I thought it was clever, to be honest. I actually thought, God, that's taken a little bit of thinking to come up with that. So I was a bit surprised when you said that, Bob. But I just thought it was. No, I did think it was clever.
I thought the first half was very clever writing, and it's Russell T Davies at its best. That personal, family, the way he writes on a personal level with people, and he really gets it. And I think the first half was tremendous. I think the ending. I think people when they complain, for example, with Chibnall and his writing, and not just Chibnall, but the message that Doctor Who tries to get across on a political and social level. So I'll go back to the plastics one. You know, that was a sledgehammer. You know, to say, look, we're killing the environment. This is something that is affecting us as a world. You know, we are going to die unless we do something about it. And it was a sledgehammer. This to me was a bulldozer. You know, like of just, and this is when I think there's nothing wrong with a sledgehammer. I think there's nothing wrong with creating awareness and reminding people of you know, things that we can do better, you know, or to portray things in a positive way. I think that's what Doctor Who does brilliantly. But I think this was just oh my God, really? Just I thought it was weak and lazy, and
again, it was the manner in which they did it, which
the delivery.
I don't mind the actual the message that they're saying is perfectly viable, but I just think the way it felt just like it drops you out of the story into. I'm no longer watching Doctor Who. I'm watching Russell T Davies doing a bit of soapboxing about something, which is perfectly fine.
Yeah.
But it felt like it, and that's what I object to, not the message itself.
No, exactly. And there was things that took me out of it.
And that's just a storytelling thing. It's not any other criticism. Yeah.
Oh no, it was, and completely. You put it very much, you know, much better than I probably did. And I think there's certain things that took me out. Two of them were actors who I thought were not very good actors. I think the unit the unit scientific advisor. I don't believe she's a unit scientific advisor. I don't think she's a very good actress. You know, I think if you're going to be casting people who are in a wheelchair users, do it, but get actors that can act. And I'd probably say the same with.
I don't know. I agree with that though, Bobby.
But I mean, this is my.
I think she was perfectly fine.
No, this is my personal opinion. You
know,
I mean,
to be fair, she acted like a normal person, which is like exactly what she maybe was.
I don't believe she's a scientific advisor. Sorry, Suki, go on.
I've seen her in other stuff. She's a really good actress, and I've seen her in some really good stuff. But in this, she come across as what's the word? Not arrogant. All-knowing and a bit
flippant.
Yeah, flippant, and like she was. I'm here, but I don't need you. I can do everything myself, and all this stuff, which is great. But it just, as Bob says, it didn't come across as somebody that was believable.
It took me out of it a bit. That's all.
I took that girl in the wheelchair as, she's a scientific advisor, but is this something else? It felt to me like
that's what I mean. I think
something else. So maybe it comes out into the future. Maybe she
might not simply be as some human scientific advisor. She might be something else.
And that's why she was a bit flippant to everyone. Yeah,
she might be another Time Lord.
What did you think of her, Craig? Did you like her?
I did like her. Yeah, I thought it was a nice twist. It was nice to see some diversity represented, which I think is going to be there anyway all the way through. More than that, I never once thought for a second that she wasn't acting. I was just impressed by the fact. I was curious as to how she knew the Doctor. She was almost like when he was like, "Oh yeah, you've always wanted to meet me in your dreams." She was very dismissive of the Doctor, like it wasn't a big deal, which I quite liked because it's the alternative of what you always get. It was just. Why was she not bothered about it? And also the fact that she was quite prepared. So I know that's her role.
She wasn't shocked by him being there, that's why it got me that she got another motive within it.
Because she went looking for him, didn't she?
Recognized him straight away.
Yeah.
Well, we've had previous scientific advisors who are like big fans of the Doctor. Osgood and Malcolm. Yeah. They just really loved with the Doctor, and she come across as somebody who's just read his file and respects his him as a person, as a scientific previously.
I like
scientific
that though,
advisor.
because there's also that element of with Unit, and especially with the Doctor. There's an underground friction there. Like
Yes.
at some points, the Doctor usually always takes over, and everybody tells him what he's going to do, and he's always that, oh God, here he comes again. You know what I mean? We can sort of figure this out, and then maybe that's what's going to be there with Jaren. We know the next few episodes he does go to Unit, doesn't he? And maybe
The
this
third
something what
episode,
goes on
I
a
think.
bit further. So the actual story of introducing her, I thought fitted okay, but I was missing some more high-end Unit people going around. It was just really her.
There
And
was
all the
reference to Kate,
bleach
wasn't there?
bobs.
But I think
Yeah.
that's going to come in
Well,
time.
that's going to
'cause,
come in it?
yeah, I think this was just about establishing or re-establishing the character.
Probably spent most of the budget
connection.
on getting Tennant back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
possibly.
Probably did.
I thought some of the special effects were cracking though. Actually,
Amazing.
Oh,
no,
oh,
the
what do you
um,
think of the
spell on
new
it.
the new
Yeah.
pen, the new
Oh,
screwdriver?
I loved it. Yeah.
No, I
I
didn't.
thought it was great. I thought
I
it was
thought it was a
fantastic.
great idea. It's about
Go on,
time they moved on.
The
Yeah.
Sonic has somehow developed from being, something they
Yeah,
just gave
it
you
has.
readings
It's
and you
developed,
just sort
Suki.
of-
That's the point.
Yeah, but now it seems to open up deadlocked doors. It
Yeah.
seems to.
Why not? It's been
Why
around
not?
for
That's the whole point of the
ages.
Sonic screwdriver.
But
Is to
it's
fix
yeah,
plot holes.
That's the
That's
whole
all it
reason.
does.
Yeah, but that's the whole reason why John Nathan Turner in the past got rid of it, because it was a device that could
Yeah,
do everything to get him
But,
out of trouble.
but it's a device that storytellers are going to just use with impunity because it's worked itself into
Yeah.
there. It's fine.
As long as the screwdriver never becomes a weapon, then
Yeah.
it's all right. He should be adapting it. If the TARDIS changes and modifies, then the screwdriver should be. It's not really changed
It-
for bloody.
He's
15
meant to be
years.
ahead of the time, isn't he? He's got
Yeah.
scientific knowledge. He's got all these things. You'd expect it to do more than what we would just expect.
It's a tool,
it's-
which is why I thought Shep should understand that.
But
Yeah,
you know,
I like this.
I like the Sonic. It does too much, and that's the thing. People were then shouting that
Doesn't.
Jodie used the Sonic too much, and all this stuff that people
It's
were
just the way
saying
it
about
is.
the Chibnall era. You know, this is worse. Like this is
No,
why
it's
I'm a
not
bit.
worse.
No,
It's
this is
not
why I'm
worse.
annoyed because it's never going to be. It's,
It's,
gonna be a
it's not worse. It's a continuation. It's like
it's just bad.
no,
I think that's why I'm annoyed. It's just that all the stuff people are
Yeah.
slagging off is there, but worse.
no. It's not everybody slagging off though. That's the thing.
I've not heard.
It's,
any-
it's
oh, no,
like,
no,
it's,
no, no,
I
it's-
mean-
it's
I
what
mean the
you don't
Chibnall
like.
era.
It's what you
No,
don't like from the Chibnall era.
no.
That
I'm
is
talking-
backed up. It's backed up by the
Yeah.
echo chamber that you're in, of course. Like
I'm
all
not in echo
things
chamber.
are.
Yes.
I'm not. I don't know what people are thinking. I don't know if
Well,
people
Bob ain't
look at
on Bob ain't on social media, so he hasn't got an echo
No,
chamber.
That's his one-person echo chamber.
I'm saying the stuff that people were slagging off in the Chibnall era was on display, but worse in this episode of
People-
Doctor Who, which is why I'm a bit annoyed.
I don't think the people are going to slag off everything. Just because there's people slagging it off does not give it any validity.
Most people slagged off the Chibnall era.
Yeah,
Is what you're saying.
not most people at all.
With the
No,
Chibnall
just
era,
the people that go on the internet and spout shit.
I mean, you
It's
can.
not about them though, is it?
Them.
Okay,
It's
you
not
can
about
only
them though.
really.
It's about it's about the show. It's what it's giving you.
Go on, Craig. Go on, Craig.
Can we turn? I mean, I have only heard 2 negative comments so far, really, about that. The show, full stop. Everything I've seen is very much, it's good. It's what people expected. It did its job. It was a look back to 2000, his last era, which what he said it would be. I haven't really heard that much critical stuff about it. The reviews have all been exceptionally positive in the media, and certainly how it performed was really brilliant. Its highest viewing figure since 2019 with Resolution overnight. So it's done really well on that.
Check him out on the
It-
stats. You love the
Oh,
stats.
I know, just over 5. I love my stats.
Oof.
I already googled it. Just over 5 million second of the night, beaten by.
There'll be an
obviously,
appreciation index somewhere, won't there?
Not yet. Usually takes a while for that
Oh.
to come out. But it did exactly what it was expected to do, and I think that's what we've got to keep coming back to. We were not looking for the dark days of deep story and continuity. This had to be
the
fresh
same.
and bright. It is like it's Russell T Davies era, and the reason why they've done that is because it appealed to the masses. It's what they wanted to do. They're broadening it out even further. They can't go down. That has to be bright and funky. And yes, Meet the Beat was a great way of kind of reintroducing kids a little bit because it was cute. And then the
Yeah.
extra brilliant twist.
Oh, the meat
that
was
actually
amazing. Yeah,
Yeah.
the meat was amazing. Absolutely percent.
And you watched it in parts through a child's eye, didn't you? You watched it through the other little lad on the street. And I thought that was really great. The excitement of something coming to Earth, the excitement to find it, the fear then. That was really nicely done. It kept it at a child's audience as well as showing, the other side.
I think I didn't feel any sense of peril at any point, I don't think. And I think a lot of that was to do with the music score, which I thought...
Music was awful.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it was awful. I just said
Jarring.
tonally, it was far too light-hearted for what they was trying to portray on the screen.
Yeah, absolutely.
It didn't feel like it matched up.
Murray Gold, just as soon as I heard the music, I was like, "Oh God!" Because the last guy was brilliant. Who did?
Was it Murray Gold? Yeah, is it?
No. The last guy, I don't know his name. So amazing, best music in New Who by a country mile, and just sort of showed what you can do. And I think my big issue is that we loved the eventually I completely loved the Chibnall era and the Whittaker era, and I think the Flux will never be bettered, particularly by what's happening now. I don't think the Power of the Doctor as an episode of Doctor Who will ever be bettered, for me personally. And I just think I didn't realize how much I'm quite protective of that bit of an era, as I am with the McCoy era as well.
See, okay, I'm going to be really controversial, Bob, because I remember, as will Suki, that first year of Jodie's incarnation.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to mention.
And with reflection,
I'm just saying,
I
would say you don't necessarily react great to changes in Doctor Who. You have to let it settle and simmer on you for a while.
I don't dislike it.
So I understand. I know you don't, but I
don't dislike it.
I think you'll grow to love it more as time goes on.
I don't think I'll love it. I don't think I'll go back to love it.
Yeah, but you said that about Jodie first season, and
no,
you did.
You did. You weren't going to watch it anymore.
I'm saying that, just give it some time. But
I like it. The thing is, I like it.
No, we're talking about Jodie. We're talking about Jodie.
He's not going to not watch Doctor Who, is he?
Of course, I'm going to watch Doctor Who. And I even watched it when I said I didn't like it, but it's what I expected. And I'm not disappointed. I liked it. It was fine.
Okay, so back to Doctor Who. Rather than what Bob did we think it was when we were in the shed and we had the kind of rows as
E.T.
I wasn't thinking Me Too, but
I wasn't thinking Me Too. I was thinking E.T.
E.T.
Extraterrestrial.
I was thinking I was going to say Joe, the
he's
little
not got
toy.
the reference. He doesn't get the reference.
I've got the reference totally.
Right, okay, yeah.
I was going to talk about the Flux because Bob mentioned it. So that she was doing the toys. This is a Cyberman. Was that? I can't remember his name. Calvinista, the dog.
Calvinista.
There was the cute.
Yeah, I was
cute
wondering.
I thought that, and
Yeah,
they
I was
didn't give a
wondering that.
name. And I thought, is that a nice subtle reference to that? Obviously, Donna wasn't there for that, but maybe the memories have gone through, and obviously previous memories. Because apparently there is a reference to the Flux in the next episode.
How would Donna's kid have the memories of Jodie's?
Yeah. See, that's
what
the only.
Understand.
So maybe not. The answer to that, maybe no, it's not.
That was the only
Technically,
toy that I didn't
Calvinista was there
recognise.
before, wasn't she?
Yeah,
Calvinista was there in the pre-William Hartnell. Technically,
That's a good point. Technically, yes, Craig is
Jesus
correct.
Christ, he's done it. He's beaten us all.
Yeah, well done, Craig.
Well done, Craig.
He was struggling to get it out there, but he won in the end.
I did get it. I don't know if it was. That was what immediately came to my mind. It could be something totally different.
Good spot.
But I did think that was a reference. But I loved all that.
What do you think of the banter between the families in that? I thought that was brilliant. It was like, I know they had it originally in 2008, but it just seemed to click straight away again. The banter with a mum, her, Donna, him. I thought the way they bounced off each other as well. But one of the big things is what they had to do is, as we all know, is we'd watch Doctor Who regardless. Well, it's had such a slating. He had to create a story, a one-off story that will instantly appeal to new people, older people, people who loved his generation, and the ones who enjoyed the ones that had just been. So he had a lot on his task there. If you think about it, this is like a BBC's last go. Right, all right, this is it. We've got RTD back. Do what you can. So we have to be big, brash, camp, all the stuff what we enjoy and new. And like Bob says, it had to be bigger and fresher and brighter as well. So he had a lot on his plate to get that out to be the first one. So I think it's took that box. I agree with Bob.
I
in the
do.
sense
No,
of,
no, I do,
I ain't,
Cliff.
I
I
ain't
do.
gonna rewatch this as like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go back to that
No.
one. But as a standalone piece, I think it works. I'm
No, I
hoping
think-
the next ones get some kind of better undercurrent.
Exactly what you and Craig have said is spot on. It did its job. It brought Doctor Who back. It brought it back fresh. It looked great. It was all of the things that it needed to be to save the show, whatever you want to call it. And I enjoyed it. It was okay. It was fine. It was what I expected. It looked brilliant. You know, there's all the things. It's ticking a lot of boxes, and I'm looking forward to next week. You know, apparently it's going to be crazy and different. These next 2 episodes are going to be the ones that are maybe more for me. And I'm excited. I am excited for next week.
Yeah.
So that's all good. My sort of little gripes are coming from, I think, being battered for the last, and I was one of them, battered for the last, you know, an era of Doctor Who, which I think is brilliant. I think it's clever. I think it's fun. I think it's all the things that Doctor Who should be and push some boundaries. And now, because this sort of okay piece has come back, what it needed to be, it's fine, you know, but it wasn't as good as that got slagged off. And everything's amazing now in Doctor Who world because RTD's back and David Tennant back and Catherine. It's fine. It's just fine. That and this is me. This is nothing to do. This is what needed to happen. 100%. I know that. And I enjoyed it. But I think that's where I'm coming from a protective point of view as a Doctor Who fan, that this isn't what I want to see, but it's fine. You know what I mean?
I'm hoping it gets a lot more serious in the way he writes, and he has to be. He's got 2 more episodes left with RTD.
Totally, it had to be bright and silly.
He had to capture this. He had to grab you and capture them.
But now we've got to see whether he's retained his balls to be able to like do something more substantial.
How is he going to feed in? You know, it's a 60th. How is he going to feed in other doctors? Is he going to bring in the Master? Is he going to bring in over, you know, the Daleks? Is he going to bring in other stuff?
No.
We don't know.
I don't think any of this is going to be remembering too much from the past. Maybe this next week's episode, because there's supposed to be 3 names that have been redacted from the cast list, and we don't know who those are. Could be anybody. So that could be a slight remembering of past glories and stuff. But other than that, I think they're just going to push it forward. The 3rd episode, again, it's going to bring back the Toymaker and Kate Lethbridge-Stewart, and possibly one other that's sort of been mentioned. And then Ncuti will be in that episode as well towards the end. And that's it.
Who do you think? Sorry.
I was going to say, it's not necessarily bringing back all characters and all that kind of thing to make it special. I do want to see something new from Doctor Who. You know, we didn't in this episode. This was, you know, getting a lot of people back on board who would, you know, become disillusioned, and rightly so. But I want to see. This is what Russell T Davies is saying. He's saying you're going to see a lot of things you've never seen before, and that's one of the great things about this TV show. I can't wait for it, you know, and I'm excited about it, and I hope he delivers on that.
Yeah.
You know, so there's a lot of good things to look forward to, and it did what it was meant to do. Bravo. You know,
I tell you what I thought was sad about this episode was obviously
bravo, you bastards.
Bravo, you bastards.
Some of the first images that were shown that I can remember, if not the first, was David Tennant, Catherine Tate, and Bernard Cribbins in his little wheelchair. Now, it was this episode he was meant to be in, and I wasn't sure how much they'd got that they could have used, but clearly they decided there wasn't enough, or for whatever reasons they took him out. Maybe it's family request, but obviously because I thought that was a bit sad, really, the lacking, because he obviously would have been great, and obviously I just missed him in it. Really, I was kind of hoping there'd be a very brief.
I think it's good. I think they will show him. I think it'd be nice for it to show if they have got it in the next
probably
one.
save it till a nice tearful moment.
Maybe they moved it about to make it even more like
possibly. That would be
just
nice.
an emotional right hand turn at some point will be happening for that. He'll get his weepy moment, and
that could be one of the redacted names, for instance, couldn't it? Bernard Cribbins next week.
Yeah, it could be. But as Craig says, he was seen filming for this episode. It was for this episode, but that it's been taken out. Chances are there's going to be like
taken out. Jesus! Oh,
well,
right.
I also like the.
Oh shit! For a minute
Calm down. I also liked the in-story explanation for Will's absence as well.
Beautiful.
Where, Kate he's looking after the old
Yeah.
soldier. I just love
Yes.
that.
I like
And
that. thought that
I
was
also
really
like the funny bit when he led up to that bit where he was all explained, where the doctor's goes, "I'm sorry for your loss. He's not dead,
Yeah,
you
it's
idiot."
great. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was so good. It
But
was
both
again,
Donna and Sylvia ganging up on him.
again, top writing, brilliant. Russell T Davies again. That last bit, amazing. Only he could do
Let-
that. This is
Oh,
why
that-
I'm.
I
you know, this
I
is-
have an opinion on Catherine Tate's character, Donna. Right.
Go on, John.
When I originally used to watch Tennant and her, she was the companion that really sort of grinded every gear that I could possibly have. Her voice pierced right through my skull until it wanted to like drill into my mind and like. And
Is that why he turned out like this then, John?
any useful shit that was in there was getting knocked out by going "aye" and shit like that all the time, and it was really grating for me. So and I saw that she was coming back, and I was thinking, oh, I'll just withstand it just so I could spread the joy with the boys about this thing. But she was, yeah, there was a couple of moments where she was like, I just want to punch her in the face to get her fucking grip, which was the problem that I always had originally with her. But it worked a lot better this time. I think she'd been slightly toned down,
Yeah.
or maybe life experience and all that sort of stuff had changed her as a person, and we were seeing that. But it wasn't the same annoyance that I remember from that. That was the part of the New Who that I watched or would like to watch again least, because I don't remember any of it, because I just kind of like skipped it because it would annoy me. I'd skip forward.
Runaway Bride. Completely agree with you. Did not get on board. I love Donna. I think she's brilliant, and I was a big fan. And it does jar me though when I go back and she does the full Catherine Tate thing. You know,
Yeah.
a little bit. But when she's acting, she is better. She's just the best. I think she's brilliant.
She shone for me with that one. Was it Turn Left?
Turn Left, yeah,
I
amazing.
thought she did amazing there. She really
Brilliant actress.
shone on that.
But the point being, it's just like this iteration of Donna is entirely more acceptable to me, and I
More
understand it a bit better.
mature.
Yeah.
I think maybe that's it. And now
That
having a
makes it
kid,
easier
she
for-
calmed down.
It makes it easier for a grumpy old twat who's watching and gets annoyed by loud noises.
Yeah,
To,
exactly. That's all it is.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
But
that,
even when she
it
does
makes it
that, even when she does the sort of big Catherine Tate thing, you know, it does jar me a bit, but it doesn't take me out of it.
No,
Whereas
it
there
didn't
was
take
things
me
in
out
this-
of it. It was
whereas-
just an annoying character for me. But
there's things that took me out of it, which, like, I think I just got taken out of it from the get go, and yeah, and I don't know. There's a lot of positives. It was really good. I'm sounding very negative, but I'm not. I'm trying not to be.
Who do you think's the boss?
Oh,
Yeah,
that's a good question.
It's got to be
Wasn't
too
wasn't that
obvious to
answered?
be the toy
Wasn't
maker.
that answered on
It's too obvious.
Community?
I didn't
Oh,
see
no,
it.
it's
It
different
did.
thing.
No, I don't think not that.
Bruce
Not
I
who's,
Springsteen?
know.
not who's the
Imagine-
boss? That American sitcom.
Bruce Lee.
No.
Oh,
Bruce Lee. That's
I'm
a Bruce
watching-
Springsteen, but yeah.
Who's the boss? I'm actually watching The Upper Hand,
Oh
which
my
is the
God.
English version. I have been for the last few weeks. One episode a day.
You watch some utter tripe, sucker.
Yeah, you watch
really
some
do.
bad No wonder you
Uh,
sleep.
Who the boss? I don't know. Celestial Toymaker, perhaps.
No, I think it's going to be too obvious that it is him.
Yeah.
It's been noticed that. I was thinking,
It's
the
always the
master.
bloody master. It's always the master.
It's always
so
the
tedious.
I know,
Yeah,
but it's an anniversary
and
special.
then-
How could it have it without a master?
If it's
dropping
like if this is a 3-series arc, in the third episode, we will see Cybermen and Daleks teaming up to try and it's just the same as every other.
I don't think we're going to
Special
get
that I
any of
remember
that
from
at
history.
all.
No, I
No.
hope not. No.
I actually wondered if the boss was maybe a segue into the next season, because what Russell T Davies used to do a lot in the film when he was last was he used to put little seeds in
little seeds
that
in
were
there.
actually coming out later. So I did actually wonder if the boss might be something that Shooty will deal with.
I mean, that's a
Um,
good point because he does. He's well known for sticking the seeds in that. Like,
Yeah,
why wouldn't he use this
absolutely.
opportunity
Yeah.
to plant a few for his upcoming? I think it's written already, or mostly.
Oh,
Yeah,
well,
but-
it's done.
well,
It's filmed
second
season two,
season.
aren't they?
Second
Yeah.
season's filming now.
So
But
I'll
the-
have the long-term stuff all sorted.
Actually, he was actually planning season 4, from what I believe. He's
There you
planning
go.
season 4 right now.
What
But
an
the
arsehole.
other person that I want to know who's this woman in Abu Dhabi that's buying the toys and the
Oh,
guns?
yeah. Is
Oh,
that
yeah.
something
I
over
mean,
there?
there these toys were pretty basic.
And it
And
was
somebody-
mentioned, wasn't it? The fact
Yeah.
that she mentioned it.
Yeah, stick a name in it, and somebody will
Yeah.
refer to it at some point, won't they?
Because it's
Oh, I like that.
It's like the coffee, isn't it? You could see when they're in the TARDIS that there was.
She did it on purpose.
She referenced to the coffee. You could see that was going to be an issue when the coffee comes up. Oh, I lost my job because I spilled my coffee. And you thought that's what's going to happen now.
Oh yeah.
So
I like this.
That was a surprise for me, though. I did not see her splashing the coffee. I just thought it.
No, I didn't
think she did it on purpose.
I've never seen a bigger, more louder telegraph than when she started talking about the coffee spilling, because that's exactly what was going to happen. It was like I've never had a louder telephone call. Oh god, that was numb.
Well, what I liked about that is that the console has a coffee machine, and in the previous iteration, it had a custard cream maker, and it's just sort of developing the whole having a break thing.
Yes.
Yeah, but the sonic screwdriver's too far for you, Suki.
Oh, yes, it is.
It is.
I did think that the TARDIS's reactions to a bit of spilt coffee was very dramatic. The flames coming out and everything.
I spilled coffee on my laptop and it doesn't do that.
I know. I did think that. It was like, I don't
know about you guys, but when they went into, because I've not seen anything of the new TARDIS, thankfully. And when he went in and he was running around, I was running around, well, within reason with him, because I was like, I never thought I'd see the TARDIS look this amazing. I mean, like for me, Matt Smith's Peter Capaldi's TARDIS was the best of the new Who, and I thought that was amazing. Like that. But this is just next level. We've got more money. Wow. And then the Destroyer, and I was like, why have you just done that?
I think they're gonna have to keep it. It's got the great cross between the traditional old with the white.
Yeah, but is it Ncuti's TARDIS or will it change?
So. Well, they've spent loads of money on it, haven't they?
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Keep this.
That looks like it's going to be a standing set, and I quite like the fact that it was real flames. If you looked at the makeup Unleashed, I thought it was just going to be effects, but it was real flames shooting up and everything. Yeah. The other thing I like about that TARDIS interior is the fact that it changes colour. When the lights all change to a different colour.
It's amazing.
That's great.
I like seeing the other rooms all going up, branching off. I thought that's good. They can include that.
I was a bit miffed, actually, because I couldn't watch it live like some of us. And I had done everything I could to make sure not one single thing was leaked to me. I'd switched my phone on to Do Not Disturb. I'd then turned my phone off literally until I watched it, avoided all friends that had looked after dogs. Matt went and got them, came in, did my marking I had to do, put the TV on, and what comes up first? The bloody trailer for Doctor Who Confidential showing the new TARDIS interior. I literally could not believe it, because I was actually, it was like, here we go, I've avoided every spoiler. Press play, and it's like, I actually went, oh, fuck. I believe it.
But I mean, I'm so happy I didn't know. Because I went in there with David Tennant being just like this is just amazing, and that's when Doctor Who for me is at its best, is when you get that surprise. And I did get that surprise with the meat, and I'm glad I have read.
I got that.
The Star Beast now, and it's great, and a lot of the Star Beast is in here, from the graphic novel, so it was good.
Could you tell me when the graphic novel came out, is that before ET or after?
Yeah, before. 2 years before. 2 years before ET.
Still with Spielberg nicked it.
Maybe. Yeah. So you've never, you guys have not had the history with Beat the Meat?
No, I don't know. I deliberately avoided it. So
he's
sounds
been back
a little bit like you say, beat the meat. So be careful how you pronounce things. So
but he has been back a few times. He's been back in Big Finish productions.
Yeah. No, and I've not heard. Thankfully, I've not. The only Beat the Meat is that guy that used to do the comics on YouTube that we watched for Time Lord Victorious.
Yeah.
And I always thought, that's cool. And I was aware of Beat the Meat, but I just never knew that Beat the Meat was evil. So I'm really happy because I found out this way.
Yes.
Again, which was brilliant. Yeah, and it was amazing. Like proper money spent on a Doctor Who monster, and that was the great thing about this. You can't. This stands up now to the American stuff. The stuff that's got money spent on it. Doctor Who stands up to that, and I've wanted that for so long.
Look, they flipped to Land Rover. They're chucking big money.
Oh yeah, no, that's a serious point, John. You don't flip a Land Rover; it costs thousands of pounds.
When I saw that, I thought I can't see any dodgy effects or something.
I thought it was quite lame that all the bullets were like, it was too obvious that it was a non-lethal fight.
I did actually
to have gone on for. I think it felt a little bit children's story-ish.
The special effects you're going on about, the tracking shot of them must have been like a drone. It just goes up and down the street while they're all fighting. I thought that was
that was pretty.
And then it zooms turns left, and then you see the family just running past the skylight line. I thought that was great.
That effect for me was the dagger drive.
Oh yeah,
and how it would just go down directly through the middle of the street. Exactly, and then
that was
this
one
is
thing
fine,
that,
but like cause and effect, it doesn't
Mend
just
it again.
subtract. It doesn't.
Yes.
That is daft.
Yeah,
I did think that.
That
I
was
did
one of
think
the
that,
things.
but
Yeah.
yes, that I can't defend that.
I can't argue with that myself.
but forgivable. Doctor Who,
Yeah.
you can forgive that.
But the Sonic Screwdriver, no, you can't forgive that.
You ain't gonna let me forget about that, are you?
But I think, like I said, this is good, positive, and we should be, because this is going to do the job.
Yeah,
and it is back, and it will be around now, thankfully for I think quite a long time, and we'll see lots of brilliant things come from it.
The way I see it is that what's happened here is that Russell T Davies has tried to re-engage the audience that he last had, and then I think he will. He's developed as a writer over the last 15 years. He's dealt with some really dark stuff in things like Years and Years and It's a Sin. And I think he's going to bring that back to Doctor Who. He's already said the next 2 episodes aren't for children, really. So I think that's what's happened. I think we've gone back to 2008 because that's when people were watching, and it'll change, which is exactly what we all want. We love it. I hope it doesn't stay exactly like this because we want fresh. But yeah, I think you're going to be happy, Bob.
No, I will be. I am happy. I think, like I say,
he says insistently.
More happy.
My annoyance is on a different level. It's a personal level from all of the negativity we've had around the previous era. When not from us. I'm not saying.
I love Jodie.
Me first of all. Yes, I was in that camp, but that rapidly developed into a love and a real appreciation for something that was done with my favorite TV show very well as well. And I think I think there was things in this which people were shouting about that were worse, if you know what I mean.
I haven't seen who. So what's the primary complaint that people are shouting about?
I don't mean this episode. I mean the things that were shouted about in the Chibnall era. So
like the Sonic waving.
Well, Sonic waving, yeah, which Suki's pointed out there. There was lots of that. People used to shout from the rooftops about that.
It is a thing.
There was the things that people said, well, I don't need a sledgehammer over there to know about the environment or all these issues. Whereas this was a bulldozer. You know what I mean? With about whatever issues they're trying to put forward. I'm not knocking that. I'm just saying that this was.
I've been
just as clear as that. Yes,
I've just been. I'm just as critical as you are about that sledgehammer message thing that they did. But realistically, how the hell else are they going to do it in time? That's the only thing that I give them leeway for. I think.
Sorry, I'm just trying to explain. I agree with it. I agree with putting this message in 100%. I think it's brilliant. But I'm just annoyed. My annoyance comes from what everyone was when everyone was when everyone was slagging off Doctor Who doing that before, like bitterly, horribly, in the Chibnall and Whittaker era. It's now apparently brilliant. Well,
I agree.
Why wasn't it brilliant?
I agree with you.
You're doing a massive generalization of the internet, Bob. It's just the same boring people who shout really loudly about how they hate it or how they love it. It's exactly the same. Universal.
And what I should be doing,
it's not worthy of comment, or at least not. It's not from my perspective. It's not worthy of changing how I view it. It's a new start. I'm just going to let it flow.
I've let it out now. I think I've got that bit out of me.
Let it go.
It's just the perfect one. Yeah,
that's the end of the episode.
Suki's breaking into a song now.
Let it go.
Let it go. But I'm very positive about it, and I think that's where my thing is coming from. Of and good. And do you know what? I've never fought with myself this hard when Doctor Who's changed. You know what I mean? Like when all the Doctors regenerated before, I was kind of ready. I was ready for David Tennant the first time, and I thought he was amazing. I was definitely ready for a new Doctor in Matt Smith, Peter Capaldi. As it's always gone on, and I really strangely with the Jodie Chibnall, I wasn't ready.
No,
I think
I wasn't
there was
ready
so
then.
much more there.
Yeah, I think we're cut short.
But as a Doctor Who world, we had to do this to bring it back and keep it on our televisions.
Yeah.
And I'm not knocking it because it's a fantastic job was done.
But you didn't really enjoy it as much as you wanted to.
No, I enjoyed it as much as I thought I would.
Yes.
But you're not as much as you really hoped.
No. This is
Yeah,
so
I know.
my-
Same for me. Exactly the same. I didn't enjoy it as much as I wanted to.
I
I
think.
hoped it'd be better.
I mean, I don't. It's what I expected, so that's all right. I think when people raise their hopes, which we do, we're very good at as Doctor Who fans, that we're always disappointed. But I think I'm looking forward to Ncuti, and I'm looking forward to the next 2 episodes. I knew this would just be the one that Russell T Davies did so well with Rose. You know, he did it amazing, and as he drip fed and brought it to a generation of people to make them love Doctor Who, which he was incredibly successful at, and I thank him till the day I die for it. And he's doing the same again, and this is what's needed. So, you know, my criticisms are irrelevant because I enjoyed it. As a piece of television, it's brilliant. Imagine if you've never seen Doctor Who before, this comes on your Disney Plus on your telly, you're never going to see anything like it, ever. And that's amazing. There's nothing like this. You've got the generic world of Star Wars and Marvel and all that, which just churns out all this stuff, which is the same. Whereas Doctor Who comes on your telly for the first time. Imagine watching this. It's magical. It's amazing. Yeah, look at that.
Yeah.
How's that for positive? Eh?
That's very, very positive. Yeah, I do like the
More
big
grudging positive.
He says in his Star Trek top.
Hey, it's not me that's doing a Doctor Who podcast and a Star Trek podcast, is it?
Hey, don't.
That's someone
Don't
else.
go around criticising me. Well,
We
the
still
ladies
got-
like Doctor Who. Let them carry on as well.
We've still
I'm
got the
teasing.
massive question though of why he's back.
Yes, we've not talked. Yeah,
As a
why is
story
he-
piece, you know why he's being brought back by RTD, but as a story piece, it only gets touched on a little bit. I'm hoping the answer.
I think that's going to come out, isn't it? Yeah.
I can't even think of anything why, unless it's something.
It
to
might
do with the
just
story
have been to get the TARDIS energy out of Thingy.
Yeah.
Out of Donna. Yeah.
Or it's a
Might
game
just-
by the
just been that.
Celestial Time Maker, and he's just a pawn.
Fixes faults. I mean, this is the. I would hope that it was. I don't know about this, but I hope it's something to do with Time Lord Victorious and all that stuff.
Oh yes. Oh, that'd be cool.
Only because that's his the whole arc of the end of his original thing was, you know, he's going slightly nuts.
Oh, something to do with the fact.
And
that
I think this is him paying back, or at least solving some of the problems that he created with the Time Lord Victorious, with his messing about with history and that.
Or something to do with when Jodie put that the watch of all the memories and stuff into the TARDIS itself.
Could be many
be.
things. Yeah.
We shall find out over the next 2 weeks. I think we will find out. I think that's what it's going to become.
Maybe.
Oh, I'll get a resolution. Obviously, this section, but I am excited. I'm very excited for the next couple of weeks. I think like as well. This is the reset. This is what he needed. I've said all that, but I think when we've had specials before, we've had the Day of the Doctor, we've had the Power of the Doctor, which for Doctor Who fans, it's a multi-Doctor story festooned in Doctor Who history. Festooned. I never thought I'd get that word in tonight.
That's such a non-Bob thing ever.
but it's you know, that's all there for us Doctor Who fans, which is why they're incredibly special. Them specials. This is a different special. This is a rebooting Doctor Who special to then reboot it again when Ncuti comes for a different audience, for a younger audience, an audience which isn't us, you know. But hopefully, as Who fans, we'll go along with the ride and enjoy it too. And that's great.
I have to say, I felt right when I was watching it because I used to basically watch Doctor Who at Christmas Day, you know, in some hotel room or something, wherever I was staying in Liverpool or whatever. And I kind of had that same feeling when watching this one of like it being festival, you know, the festive season.
Yeah.
And it felt like a Christmassy special because of the way it was, the tone of it, the light-hearted nature of it all.
Rompy, wasn't it? Very romp.
Standalone on its own.
But so that's. I remember getting that feeling, particularly whilst watching it, thinking, "Oh, that reminds me of like watching a Christmas episode."
Yeah, like a Christmas episode and like a season opener when in the RTD's era. Always. A
Oh no,
fun
that's
opening
completely different.
episode.
Rose was never. It was never felt like a Christmas episode.
And that's no, like a
But
fun
yeah,
opener,
but just
not
the
a
way
Christmassy.
I think it just felt like a bit. I expected Jingle Bells to appear at some point in it and stuff, and snow to start falling. You know how it does. You know how it does.
Well, let's get this round the table and get some final thoughts. I'm going to come to Craig, Mr. Positive, first, because you probably got more to say than you had.
Do we do two words?
Oh yeah, and your 2 words.
Well, yeah, very positive about the show. Loved it. It ticked everything. I was excited. It brought back some, didn't make me cry in any way, but it touched some raw emotion just to see them back together again, and her getting a memory back and wanting to carry. And you could see the way her character was always the same, the way she called him Spaceman, the way she gave her money away, the way that, you know, how she responded when she realized what she'd done, the way that she still wanted to save people. I thought she was very well brought back into the Doctor Who fold as such. And I loved the way they did everything to avoid her almost over the top, really.
I thought Sylvia particularly was brilliant. And also when she started dropping things like when she said doctor or she said certain words, certain phrases would, and you were like, oh shit, no. And the way they dealt with, I liked the way they dealt with him having to give her the memories back and how that bit was dealt with. And it was a great scene between the two of them. You know, it was, the whole family thing was brilliant.
Yeah, I thought, that's a really good point. Sorry, Craig, to butt in. Just Bob was saying then, the fact was Sylvia always been quite a harsh lady in the background, but this, you saw her absolute love and passion for her daughter not to die, even to the point where she chins the Doctor to keep him the fuck away.
That was class.
You know what I mean?
Him in face.
But she's so worried. But the end bit with the doors on the Doctor on one side and she on the other, obviously reminiscent from him and her granddad. The only way she probably would agree is knowing that her new family, Rose, was in peril, and so it had to be written in sort of that way to release. Yeah, it's really good, very powerful, that bit. Sorry, Craig.
What's 2 words, Craig?
No, he's still going. He's still going, aren't you?
Oh, Jesus.
No, I'm happy with that. I'm happy because I know there's other views coming. It's 2 simple words, very straightforward. Welcome back. I was really excited. So it's just, it's like,
2 words.
I don't. Sorry, we can say it as well.
So creative, you boys.
Well, let's come to you then, Suki. So no one takes your words.
Oh, right. Okay. Well, there's a few things I want to just mention. There's also, she never trust a man with a goatee. Who was that? Who could that have been? Master. And there was like the references to David Tennant, which was like, nobody should be wearing a skinny suit. Only people wearing a skinny suit.
That was funny. I laughed aloud.
I was just thinking that was great.
Yeah, I did that. That's the one that a few times in a while I've LOL'd at Doctor Who, and she's great at that. Is Catherine Tate.
A bit later on, he's there flashing the psychic paper, and he still comes up with the grand mistress of the knowledge. Catch up. The whole bringing back Neris, I like that. There was also I Will Descend, and this is all reference back to the Ood. Donna Noble is ascending, and then she's right at the end. She's when she's got all her memories back. Donna Noble is all this stuff. I like the design of the Rife Warriors, which is based on the Pat Mills and Dave Gibbons drawings. Fantastic, love that. There's somebody that walks past Shirley when the soldiers are taking over, and he's in a brown costume. If you see him in the tunnel, it's at exactly 18 minutes and 30 seconds. I'm just wondering if that is shooting in the background.
Oh,
it's a quick glimpse. And I was just thinking, why would they show somebody walking in the background of this particular scene?
I've heard theories about maybe they're doing a bit of a nod to the Watcher. You know, I mean, this is a theory, but like the Watcher, sort of the Logopolis thing. So she's watching over this incarnation and whatever, which I love that idea. So you never know. I like that, Suki.
Yeah. There's also Sean. Sean's great. I mean, the way he walks in and sees what's going on. There's a meep and all this, and then goes, something smells nice. Tuna madras. There's a couple of little names that Donna says to the beep the meep, which was a ferret from Mars. And then right after that, she goes, Mad Paddington, let's sell him and get some money back. I like the fact that they had a Sikh soldier, Major Singh, my background, obviously. There's a bit where he's creating them force fields. He's doing it. He creates the first one, and then suddenly he just passes it behind to Donna, who just walks up and just automatically takes it from him. And then she gives it him back, the screwdriver. And I was just thinking her memories are coming back there and then.
Yeah.
there's another name he calls it. She calls him Skinny Minnie. There's a reference to the Stones of Blood. Did you see this one?
No.
Some of the classic Who fans. It's he pulls out a wig, puts it on his head.
Oh yes,
Yes!
Well, I saw the wig. I didn't
Stones of
particularly like the
Blood.
wig,
Blood. Yeah.
Tom Baker does
Tom
the same
Baker,
thing.
yeah.
So he's,
yeah.
he's basically carrying a wig in his pocket for all them years.
Wow.
How big is this guy?
I'm watching
Okay.
John's
That's great.
There's
That's great.
There is a few things. The wheelchair weapons. I'm
Yeah,
not
like-
sure about that.
I thought it was
it's-
great.
I like that. He showed his.
It was just a bit of fun.
No, I like that. I did like that.
I love
There's-
the fact that it also, Suki, that it gets referenced that she's got these weapons in the wheelchair, but no ability to get up the stairs.
Yeah.
I was wondering
But
if she's
has
got the
she though?
levitation.
I was going to
thing.
say, yeah, she got levitation like
but-
Adala.
We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. I also wanted to know why the Doctor, if it's put a failsafe in to give Donna her memories back. I mean, he took the memories away for a particular reason, but why keep a failsafe to be able to give them back?
Got
Which
to have
is
a
when he
plan B.
starts giving-
Got to have a plan B.
Yeah. There was also during that scene, I like the fact that Donna's there pleading with him to give him the memories, and you see the reflection of the sad Doctor on the other side of the
Yes.
divide, like, and I'm thinking that's a great little visual that was. The boss, Cyber Dog.
Yes.
You see the two
Yes.
cyber creatures right
Yeah,
at
at
the
the
beginning,
end,
and then
yeah,
you saw
yeah.
them again right
Yeah,
at the end,
Yeah.
and it said
Cyber
Cyber Dog. And what was that about?
What's that? I think
is
that's
that
a
going to be
yet to come.
referenced later. And the only other thing, I love Miriam Margolyes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
brilliant.
she's fantastic.
Yeah.
Just great. Still a bit nippy in the TARDIS though. And that's the end of my
Nice.
note.
What's your two words?
Fantastic story. That's all I can come up with now. Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
You can't
Well,
say
well,
welcome
you-
back.
No, you should be.
I could
sorry,
say
Sophie,
welcome
that
back, but
was-
you've already taken it, babe.
No, I'm not taking it. I'm happy to share. We can have a word each. I'll say welcome. No, you can say welcome. I'll say back. It's my favorite.
Cliff. Let's do you, Cliff.
Oh, I just, like I said, it's great as a standalone piece. It's a great opening piece. I love David Tennant anyway, and a lot of the stuff what he's done. I think he's a good actor, and that's what you needed. Someone joyful, jumping around. His facial expressions say more sometimes than him saying the stuff. They brought in all his watts. I don't know if you counted how many watts, but there's a shitload of watts. Obviously
What count?
reference to him and Donna of the previous adventures before. I love the family dynamic. I hope we see more and it doesn't just go off with him and Donna. So I hope they come in a bit more of that. And my two words would be romp, meep.
The romp meep. Nice. Wonderful. John, I think Cliff's really pleased with that.
He is.
I mean,
I was
I
watching him
think
standing
about
on the
it.
screen.
I mean,
He's
thinking about
really
it,
happy.
right?
It was a really sweet little smile that was like,
Technically, meep's not really. It's just a noun rather than. It doesn't matter. You've done really well, Shep.
Don't pick on. Don't start.
I'm joking. I'm joking.
yeah.
It's a serviceable start to the new era. I'm not as much of a Doctor Who fan as all you lot, and I certainly wasn't a fan of Donna Noble. But I'm starting to come around a little bit to Donna in her current iteration. So I would say my two words are noble gas.
Noble
that's-
gas.
What's gas?
Oh, one thing.
Oh.
Did anyone notice that Donna Noble's breasts have got even bigger?
Wow.
Do you know I
Wow.
didn't actually, Cliff?
I know.
Second watching all that.
Wow.
Amazing. I think my two penalties is I'm glad I've got the basically the bit of a hangover out of my system from the previous era, and that baggage just kind of dwindled a bit from talking about it with you lot. I think there's two elements to this. There's the Doctor Who story, which was a good Doctor Who story. You know, Meep. We didn't mention the psychic sun rays or whatever it was, which is something slightly different in the graphic novel, but it's there, and I really like that. You know, this sun or whatever had gone into the minds of the Meep and made them go mad. Whatever it was, thought that was a brilliant idea, and again, it's from the graphic novel, which there was loads of good elements, like the two Warath soldiers. They were the same name, I think, as the two in the graphic novel, and it was done in a similar way. You know, the reveal, and I really like that. And like I said, going back, I didn't realize how good these 1970s graphic novels are from that time. So that was another little bonus from this. So the Doctor Who story ticked a lot of boxes. Like I said, the message at the end when it was doing the binary non-binary thing, I'm all right with it now. I think at the time I was just like, oh god, you lot slagged off clunky messages in the Chibnall area. Well, wow, that's a bulldozer, but it's a good one. And I think what T Davies does super well and always did was looking at, just people that are, different from the norm. And I think in his original era, he's looking at homosexuality with a Captain Jack.
Yeah.
This time, and it's that the Doctor accepts everyone. If you're a nice person and trying to do the right thing, he will accept you. If you're being horrible, he won't. And that's the best.
Just like Jesus.
Just like Jesus, to a degree. And times have moved on. Young people, who they're finding their identity, and it's different from our day. It completely is. But I work with young people who are going through all this, just not issues, but they're finding themselves, they're finding their identity. And I think to put that into Doctor Who, particularly for younger people, is a fantastic thing, because it creates that conversation and awareness with older people who are also watching Doctor Who. And I think we touched on it before, the conversation that Sylvia had with Donna is like, I never know the right thing to say. Well, guess what? Most of the time it's all right. If you do say the wrong thing.
Well, guess what? No, a lot of us don't a lot of the time. So we totally get that.
And as long as it's coming from a place of love or trying to understand, I think that's brilliant. And that's what that bit did for me as well. It's hopefully opening up these conversations to what people don't understand. And I think that's what T Davies does brilliantly well and did doing this. So from the 2 points of view, Doctor Who story, fine. From making a, and as well, we haven't talked about it, but the Children in Need special. Now, I watched the whole Davros thing, and I thought, wow, what a fun little 5 minutes of Doctor Who.
That. Yeah,
I thought it was great.
Enjoyed it.
And all my head was like, well, it's cool to see Davros before the accident.
Totally.
Before, he transforms himself.
Yeah, this is the timeline. So I was like, wow, it was great to see the actor, Julian Bleach playing him. Anyway, I didn't realise that I didn't see the Unleashed mini episode they did as well, where T Davies explains that you don't want to portray someone evil in a wheelchair, because there was a big furore, from what I can gather, about people on about that. I didn't think that. I just thought, it's Davros before the accident.
Oh, well, that's our chief scientific advisor. Shot out the window. She's not evil, apparently.
I reckon she's Davros.
I reckon she's Davros.
It was explained within the story, that little 5-minute scene. There was a little bit saying timelines and something else were being corrupted, right? So it was explained why.
And yet the sonic screwdriver's too much for you.
Oh my god! If that keep coming on, Mike,
I'm liking John being
what I'm saying about is, in my Doctor Who brain, all it is, it's just Davros before the accident, and it's
That's what I thought. It's what I thought.
That's right.
And then obviously Russell's doing it from the point of view as in, it's a good way of doing it. If you don't want Davros to be in a wheelchair, you do a bit of backstory. Yeah. And also, it's funny. It was a good little skit. It delivered on many levels. The Doctor Who fan and the funny and the Children in Need and all that kind of stuff. But obviously, everyone's kicking off because T Davies is trying. All he's trying to do, it's whether
kicking off though.
You what? Sorry,
not everybody's kicking off. Though.
Well,
a number of
people
certainly are.
Some people do. Always.
From what I can gather, but I just saw it as this total cool Doctor Who timey-wimey thing and lovely. He
did it with the Cybermen, didn't he, as well? Because he didn't want all the Mondas Telos stuff. So when he brought the Cybermen back in the second series, he had it in a parallel universe. If you remember, that's where they were, and he did it there. And I thought that was a quick way of getting rid of all the backstory he didn't want. And I actually thought exactly the same. I just assumed it was a younger Davros. And what an interesting, I like the way he recast Julian Bleach to do it. And I actually thought, there's a lot of storytelling there. A little bit like the Big Finish one, Davros. I thought there was a cracking amount to play with. And I saw the nonsense afterwards and just thought, times move on.
Well, at the point I didn't realize that he'd come out and said and he's adamant about it, and that's what I love about another thing I love about Rusty Davies is he stands by his beliefs, and his beliefs from a good place. So however he wants to portray them, yes, it might have jarred me a little bit sometimes, but it's the right thing to do. So anyway, that was another thing. And the other thing I wanted just to sorry, Suki, you got your.
I was just going to say the thing with Davros, though, he won't bring Davros back for years, I don't think. No. And by then, he would have all died down. And then he brings it back, and he probably will be. But
it's good that a TV show brings up so many points of debate as well. I think because if it's doing that, then people are going to watch it, aren't they? As well, and it gives you something to talk about. The other two things I wanted to mention was the additional things. So you've got the Doctor Who Unleashed or Confidential, whatever Unleashed coming back. And when I saw the 2 Need one, I was a bit like, oh god, it's really good. Half an hour of just that. I quite like that Stefan guy. I thought he was going to annoy me, but he's quite funny. And everyone seems on board with it, and it's cool seeing how they're doing all these effects behind the scenes. So I really enjoyed the Unleashed. And I went over to the Doctor Who official podcast now, thinking it was going to be awful, but it's brilliant. It's got the girl that we met at the at that convention. And Juno, and I don't know the other chap's name. I want to say Joseph. I don't know why, but it's a really good podcast. So I thought when official always means it's a bit shit, but it's good. Half an hour as well. Good episode. So just all these things coming out of the Doctor Who universe at the moment. It's brilliant, and I'm a big fan of it. So 2 words from me. I needed this. That's not 2 words, is it?
That's 3.
Yeah.
Needed this.
I'm doing what Cliff does, just put little hyphens in between words to make them 2.
That'll make it.
Yeah,
poetic license.
I needed this. I'm in a much more positive place with the shackles of old Doctor Who have been taken off me, and on with the new.
We'll see, Bob. We'll see.
So we'd have another demon.
It's like it sounds like he's trying to convince himself.
Yeah, well, yeah.
But yeah, we'll see. We'll see next week.
Anyway, it was quite a long podcast for us, that one. We had stuff to talk about, which was great.
New stuff, new Who.
So next time in the Wild Blue Yonder, isn't it?
Yes, I've not seen the trailer for that yet. I must admit, it's not an iPlayer. I know
it's a very small.
There's a trailer and a clip in there. So
is it another? Is it another hour one? Is that?
No, it's 50 minutes, I think, because I think it starts at 6:30. And I remember when I was watching Strictly Results.
Stats guy.
He said when I was watching Strictly Results, it said we're on at 7:20 next week for Strictly. So that means it's 50 minutes. I'm guessing.
We live in completely different worlds, don't we? Me and you, Stimmer.
I had to. Oh yeah, so I thought I was going to watch it live, which was great. Anyway, I got a gig coming, but I managed to watch. So I had to watch it in 2 halves. I watched the first half an hour because I was like, well, I'm in the house. I can't not watch a brand new episode of Doctor Who even a little bit. So I watched the first half hour, went out and did the gig, turned off my phone, didn't do anything till I got back and watched the final 20 minutes or so. So yeah, it was.
That's just totally wrong. I could not have done that.
Have you watched it since, Bob?
I watched it with a bit of the commentary. They started doing the commentary episodes again, so you can watch it back with David Tennant. What's he called? The producer dude and the other producer lady, Phil Collinson, and and they used to do him before where they just you'd see it on the screen and them 3 just talking about it in the commentary. It was all right.
The next week's episode is 55 minutes long. Starts at 6:30. Strictly starts at 7:25.
There we go.
You planned my Saturday night for me there.
Woohoo! I'm gigging. I'm gigging again, and in fact, we'll be. Oh no, the weekend after.
I hated having to wait 24 hours. It was.
That's right. That's why I put in the chat. That confirm when you've watched.
I really liked you doing that. I was really sweet actually, Bob, because I was getting a bit stressed about everything. So
I could have done 24 hours. I could not have done 24 hours.
Awful.
Luckily, I didn't have any comment to make about the episode. I would have put something in the chat and you'd upset all of you, but it was just a bit meh.
Well, yeah,
so a bit meh. That could be your words.
On that note, we're off. Yeah, thanks for listening. We'll you'll hear from us next week about the what is it? The Wild Blue Yonder.
Wild Blue Yonder.
Yeehaw!
Yeehaw!